of the word was we were going to get killed, and you were going to get, you know, walloped by them going head-to-head on 4th of July. And we doubled the Patriot and sort of took that monkey off my back of having to have a film succeed.
He knew that Perfect Storm would be a successful movie and would parlay George Clooney into not just George Clooney the actor, but George Clooney the movie actor, the movie star.
The truth of the matter is the reason the film succeeded had nothing to do with me. It had to do with the fact of a big wave in the trailer. But I always figure since I had to take the rap for Batman and Robin flopping, then I got to take the credit for the Perfect Storm.
Even with the blockbuster under his belt, George was in for a surprise.
Even when you're doing films, you know, as you sort of go up and you know that, you know, Tom Cruise and all these guys are getting these offers on these great scripts, and it's going to filter its way down eventually, and you're like 12th on the list or something. And as you sort of start moving up that list, you realize that those scripts don't really exist. So that's a surprise.
And not the only one. George discovered not all stars are created equal.
ER's the most successful show of all time. I mean, we were doing 40 shares. It was such a big show, it was ridiculous. And I was one of the focal points on that. So I was in people's homes and they'd watch you and they knew you personally. They know you personally, which is fine and great. You know, Mel Gibson, you pay $8 and he's 60 feet high and you eat popcorn and it's an evening. You've made an event and you go see him and he's a movie star. So I've gotten off a plane with Mel and people will go, Mel Gibson, like that, and you'll go. And then they'll see you and they'll go, George! And they come over and they grab you, because you've been in their homes.
There's another aspect of being famous. People want to know about your personal life. Now here are the facts. In 1989, George married actress Talia Balsam, but the marriage ended 3 years later. He dated actress Kelly Preston for 2 years. He's also gone out with models Celine Balatran and Lisa Snowden and actress Renee Zellweger.
The people that he does date are women of substance. They're peers, both intellectually and sometimes even in career.
I think the first thing they see is that he's very good looking, but the underneath part is, I think, what they really fall in love with, is that he is a nice guy, that he is very funny, will make them laugh, and making somebody laugh is a very sexy kind of thing.
Do you think you'll ever get married?
Well, you know, I don't know. I really don't know. I've always said, you know, probably not again because, you know, because I sort of feel that way. But I always think answering that question always, you know, paints you in corners. I don't think so. I don't see myself doing it. I don't know what the scenario would be right now that I would do it. Not for any reason except that I just don't know. I don't see it. I know. I got a great pig.
Max?
Yeah, good long.
You know, I've heard, I've never seen the pig.
Oh, you haven't seen him?
Really? He's there?
Bring him out, kids. Yeah, no, he's there. He's still there. 13 years or something with him.
When Max was a piglet, George used to take him for rides on his motorcycle. But now the pig weighs in at 150 pounds. So I guess Max has to get around on his own these days. When we return, George Clooney on not being a kid anymore.
Yeah, some lady came up to me the other day. She said, how old are you? I said, well, how old do you think I am? She was 45. Right. You think I'm 45 years old? She's 46.
George Clooney made the jump to the big screen. He's played a fishing boat captain, an army colonel, and an escaped convict, among other roles. In December 2001, he added criminal mastermind to his resume.
Clooney joined forces with an A-list cast that included Brad Pitt, Julia Roberts, and Matt Damon to make the high-class heist movie Ocean's 11.
We're just supposed to walk out of there with $150 million in cash on us without getting stopped?
Yeah.
During shooting, Clooney was up to his old tricks. He may be a star, but he still loves those practical jokes.
Well, we did a lot of things, pretending to be Jerry Weintraub on the phone because we all can do impersonations of him. And we were working nights, and Jerry's this great producer. We were all staying at the Bellagio, and there's a butler there, you know, for all the rooms. It's like the concierge, and I would call the butler and go, "This is Jerry Weintraub. I'd like a 6 a.m. wake-up call, please." So he'd get in at 5:30, 5 o'clock in the morning from working all night, and they'd wake him up at 6 with a wake-up call. And we'd have breakfast. You know, those cards that you signed for breakfast? We would literally have like 4 meals sent to him to his room to wake him up at 6:30 in the morning. He'd come down the room with a tray and bang on our doors and wake us up. Just little things like that that just made us laugh.
Ocean's 11 reunited George with his out-of-sight director Steven Soderbergh. The two men got along so well, they formed a production company. Soderbergh must have inspired Clooney in other ways as well. When I sat down with George in Montreal, he was getting ready to direct his first movie, Confessions of a Dangerous Mind.
Is it scary at all for you?
Sure. Well, I'm in over my head, you know, but it's kind of a fun place to be. I like it that way. I've had my best luck when I'm a little bit lost and a little bit sticking my neck out a little bit, so it's fun.
What was it about this project that made you want to?
It's the best script in town. It's been the best script in town for about 5 years. There have been stories written about this script, an adaptation of Chuck Barris's book, unauthorized autobiography. He says that while he was hosting the Gong Show, he was also a CIA hitman, and he killed 33 people. So we're telling that story.
Now, were you ever tempted to take the lead role also?
No, no. In fact, I was attached to it as an actor for about 5 years, just to help him get the money for the film, because I thought it was that good a film. And it went through about 4 or 5 different incarnations and different directors and different actors playing the lead role. And then it fell apart again in March of this last year. And so when it did, I sat down with my partner, Steven Soderbergh, and I asked him, you know, I said, "What do you think about me taking a spin at this?" And he said, "I think you ought to." So I called up the producers and said, I think I have a take on it. I think I know how to do it. So I auditioned for the job and got it.
Did you ever see this path for yourself?
Mm-mm. No. In fact, I've never wanted to direct. I wanted to protect scripts, because I think that's where I've gotten sort of luck lately in films, is films like Three Kings and Out of Sight. Part of my job was, as the lead in it, to protect the script. And because what happens is, it's no one's fault, but in the studio system especially, a really good edgy script gets all the corners knocked off of it. This was a script I really wanted to protect, and it was getting homogenized pretty badly over a period of time, and I just thought, well, the only way I can really protect it is to direct it. I'll end up screwing it up, I'm sure, but it sure is fun.
You work with Julia Roberts in Oceans.
That's right.
You guys are friends.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to direct her.
I know.
That's...
It's all part of my master plan.
How's that going to
Able
be?
to tell Julia Roberts where to go. Makes me feel good. And Julia, it's going to be really fun. She's playing a hit woman. And she's going to come in and come up to Montreal and shoot it for us in January. I'm excited. I'm really excited.
Also in 2001, George crossed another threshold. He turned 40.
Some lady came up to me the other day. She said, "How old are you?" I go, "Well, how old do you think I am?" She goes, 45. Right. "You think I'm 45 years old?" She's 46. You're going the wrong way.
How'd you feel turning 40?
I was fine with it. You know, I think mostly because I think everyone thinks I'm already that old, I didn't mind. It's certainly easier being a guy, being an actor in this business than being 40. Because there are just a lot of roles for you at that age. So the only thing I don't like is that things hurt on me now. My knees hurt, my back hurts, and your head still thinks you're 23 and play basketball like that and stuff.
Coming up on Revealed, George swings into action, this time for real.
I was upset that he'd attacked all the actors about sort of them not being involved afterwards, and was pretty mean.
George Clooney is at the top of his game, but like any true champion, he continues to push himself. He also continues to fight for what he believes in. After the September 11th attacks, George helped organize the celebrity phone bank for the telethon, America, a Tribute to Heroes.
I was very passionate about it and worked on it and helped get people there and helped, you know, slept there the couple of nights and worked on it for a while. And I really enjoyed it and was really passionate about it because that's one of the things that celebrity sort of affords you the ability to do is bring focus to a cause. And we were able to sort of say, everybody come together in the heat of compassion, and let's all try to do, we all wanted to do something good and we needed an outlet to do that in.
He helped with his phone calls and calling friends of his and getting out a staple gun and putting the bunting on the front of the things and hauling around the telephone lines, and Brad Pitt's on the other side with another staple gun. You know, this was great. This was great stuff. This was very American.
What was the feeling backstage at the telethon? Like, what was your mood?
We felt more helpless in Los Angeles because we couldn't even go and you know, pick up a shovel. You know, there wasn't anything we could do. Everybody in the town felt helpless, and all of a sudden we felt like, well, if the only thing we can do is show up here and lend our name to something, it felt really good. It felt like we were doing something, and it was at the end of the night. It was one of those, you know, those are those great moments in your life where you sit around, you look around at everybody, and you go, you know, way to go.
But no good deed goes unpunished. There were critics, most notably Fox News Channel's Bill O'Reilly. O'Reilly questioned the handling of money raised in the telethon.
The thing that we did very clearly and worked for the week before was to make sure that 100% of the funds were going to be used and not and no administrative costs, which is still true. And you know, they'll say, you know, only 10%, and it's an absolute lie. It's an absolute lie. We'd given out 15,000 checks when this gentleman attacked it. I was upset that he'd attacked all the actors about them not being involved afterwards, and was, you know, pretty mean and you know, it was an unkind, really unkind sort of thing to do. But I made it very clear that it wasn't about that. That it was about, it doesn't matter what he says about us. We're big kids. We can take it. It's about sort of attacking something that's working and good. You know, we're all new to it, and it's taking us some time, and we're going to mess up some of this. We're not going to do it all right, and there are people that should be getting the money that haven't yet. But $36 million had already been given out.
You've never been afraid to speak your mind.
Well, I always get in trouble a little bit, but it's fun.
He's opinionated, and he's very firm and strong with his opinions. And sometimes he is not so flexible. He's very direct in, this is what I want, and sometimes he'll go down in flames.
I'm not afraid because I sort of figure, you know, you only get sort of a certain period of time to be famous. You know, people get sick of, you know, they get sick of you pretty quick. I get sick of me even quicker. But, you know, my father has always done that. And, you know, there have been times when my dad will say, you know, don't come back and look me in the eye if you don't. And he's right.
How does he feel about your success?
He laughs about it. He thinks it's funny.
Because you were always Nick Clooney's kid.
Yeah. I'm still Nick, trust me. You go to Cincinnati, Ohio, I'm Nick Clooney's kid. You know, it's funny. I think it was always, there are things about it. I think he's very happy for me. He knows, you know, he's very happy. He's a, you know, I have really great parents, and they're very loving and very supportive.
And I have never seen anybody deal with fame and the pressures of fame and the pressures of success as well as my son George. I just have never seen anybody handle it that well. I'm just enormously proud of that. I think that's wonderful. And that's him. He figured that out all by himself.
Well, I think I want to release you.
You are? You let me go? Oh, we got to go scout locations in Montreal.
I know you do. Was this that bad?
Yes, it was. I'm not really here, actually. I'm in Montreal, and she's in Los Angeles.
We're so far apart. Anyway.
Look, look. No, it was fun. I didn't think it was going to be bad. We've never had a bad time.
No.
No.
We never have.
I don't have, you know, I get a little bad rap for like the press because I had a couple of fights, but I never have trouble, you know, with the interviews and stuff. But you do it very well. You're very good at it. Is this like, was interviewing me like when you were doing Wild On?
It was just like an episode of Wild On.
It was, wasn't it?
Yeah, but tamer.
That's what I thought. It felt like it. You know, you can't see. You're like right here, right? I'm wearing nothing.
From
Nothing
there.
from the waist down. Wild on.
That's your revealed. Well, what did you think? I have to say George was a perfect gentleman. So the night is starting to heat up. Stay tuned as the stars come out for the premiere of Ocean's 11. But before she walks down the red carpet, the #1 leading lady in Hollywood, Julia Roberts, lets us in on some very interesting secrets in Revealed.
It said, we prefer you in the lighter genre. So I think the maturity, which is the third act, is to say, okay, well, fine, I can mix things up, I can try some stuff.